In 2026, a shocking reality is hitting Canada. Thousands of seniors are being pushed towards selling their homes, not because they want to, but because they can no longer afford to stay. In some cities, property taxes have jumped by 10 to 20%, while senior incomes barely increased. You can be mortgage-free, live in the same home for 40 years, and still be priced out overnight. What makes this even more disturbing is that most of these seniors are not rich. They're living on fixed incomes, depending on CPP and OAS, while their homes, once modest, are now labeled high-value properties. Taxes rise, bills pile up, and suddenly staying put becomes more expensive than moving. For many, this creates constant stress, fear, and uncertainty. So here's the question no one is asking out loud. Are Canada's new property tax rules quietly forcing seniors out of their homes? In this video, we'll uncover 10 new property tax changes in 2026 that could decide who stays and who is forced to leave. Number 1. Faster home reassessments. In 2026, one of the biggest changes quietly affecting seniors is how often homes are reassessed for property taxes. In the past, assessments were spread out over longer periods, giving homeowners time to adjust. Now, many provinces and municipalities are moving toward more frequent and aggressive reassessment cycles. That means your home's value is updated sooner and taxed sooner, based on today's heated housing market, not on what you paid decades ago. For seniors, this change can feel sudden and unfair. You may not have sold your home, renovated it, or earned a higher income, but your tax bill still jumps. Why? Because reassessments are based on market value, not personal circumstances. If nearby homes sell for record prices, your property is treated as if you're benefiting from that wealth, even if it's only on paper. Studies on aging and housing affordability consistently show that seniors are among the most vulnerable to these valuation shocks, especially those living on fixed retirement incomes. The real danger is speed. Faster reassessments mean less time to prepare, less time to appeal, and less time to plan financially. A tax increase that once took years to arrive can now appear within a single budget cycle. For many seniors, this creates a painful choice: cut back on essentials, dip into savings meant for health care, or consider selling the home they hope to stay in for life. A practical step families can take is to review assessment notices immediately, understand appeal deadlines, and explore relief programs early. Ignoring reassessments is no longer an option in 2026. It's one of the fastest ways seniors get priced out. If this hit close to home, share your thoughts in the comments and tell us how property taxes are affecting your family. Please subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, and it truly helps us keep making these in-depth videos for you. Number 2. Taxes rising faster than income. Across Canada in 2026, a growing gap is putting seniors under serious pressure. Property taxes are increasing much faster than retirement income. Municipal tax hikes are often justified by rising costs, infrastructure needs, and population growth, but senior incomes from CPP and OAS adjust slowly and modestly. This mismatch creates a silent squeeze, where every year homeowners owe more, yet bring home nearly the same amount of money. For many seniors, this imbalance feels impossible to keep up with. Property taxes are not optional bills. They must be paid on time, every year. Meanwhile, pensions and government benefits rarely reflect real-world inflation, especially when it comes to housing-related costs. Research on retirement affordability shows that even small annual tax increases can have a compounding effect, gradually eroding a senior's ability to cover essentials like utilities, medication, and home maintenance. Over time, the pressure builds. What starts as a few hundred extra dollars can turn into thousands, forcing difficult choices. Some seniors delay medical care, others take on debt, and many begin to question whether staying in their home is realistic anymore. A practical step is to compare yearly tax increases directly against income growth, not inflation headlines. Families can also help by budgeting ahead, checking eligibility for income-tested relief, and advocating locally. When taxes rise faster than income, the issue isn't poor planning. It's a system that no longer matches the reality of aging in place. Have you noticed your bills rising faster than your income? Share your experience in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it supports the time and effort we put into bringing these important stories to light. Number 3. Shrinking senior tax exemptions. For decades, senior property tax exemptions were designed to help older Canadians stay in their homes, but in 2026, many of these programs are quietly shrinking. Some municipalities are freezing exemption amounts, tightening eligibility rules, or eliminating programs altogether due to budget pressures. While these changes may look minor on paper, they can translate into hundreds or even thousands of dollars in added costs each year for seniors who depend on this relief. What makes this especially frustrating is that many seniors assume these protections are permanent. In reality, exemptions are often municipal policies, not guaranteed rights, and they can change with each new budget. Income thresholds are not always updated to reflect inflation, meaning seniors can lose benefits simply because their pension increased slightly, even though their real spending power didn't. Research on aging in place shows that unpredictable housing costs are one of the biggest factors forcing seniors to relocate earlier than planned. Over time, the loss of exemptions creates a slow financial bleed. Seniors begin dipping into savings meant for healthcare or emergency needs, believing they'll catch up later. But property taxes don't pause, and missed payments can trigger penalties or interest. A practical step in 2026 is to review exemption eligibility every single year, not just once at retirement. Seniors and families should also track municipal council proposals and budget votes, because changes often happen with little public attention. When exemptions disappear, it's rarely sudden, but the impact can be life-altering. Do you think senior tax exemptions should be protected by law? Tell us in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us continue putting serious effort into videos that truly matter. Number 4. Tax deferrals turning risky. Many seniors are told that property tax deferral programs are a safe solution, but in 2026, these programs are becoming far more risky than they appear. Deferrals allow seniors to delay paying property taxes until the home is sold, but the unpaid taxes don't disappear. They quietly accumulate as debt, often with interest, and are secured against the home itself. What feels like relief today could become a serious financial shock later. Over time, deferred taxes can grow into a large hidden balance that seniors rarely track closely. Because payments aren't due immediately, it's easy to underestimate how quickly the total climbs. Research on senior debt shows that deferred obligations often catch families off guard, especially heirs who discover the full amount only after a medical emergency or death. In high-value housing markets, even a few years of deferrals can erase a significant portion of the home's equity. Eventually, this creates pressure from another direction. Seniors may feel trapped, unable to move because selling would trigger a massive repayment, yet unable to stay because taxes keep growing. Families should treat deferrals as a last resort strategy, not a long-term plan. A practical step is to request an annual deferral balance statement and calculate how it will look 5 or 10 years down the road. Understanding the true cost early can prevent painful surprises later. In 2026, tax deferrals are no longer just a safety net. They can quietly become a financial cliff. Have you or someone you know considered a tax deferral? Share your thoughts below. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us continue creating well-researched videos like this one. Number 5. Luxury home reclassification. Suddenly, many seniors are discovering that the home they raised their family in is now classified as a luxury property. In 2026, rising market values have pushed ordinary detached homes into higher assessment brackets, even if the house itself hasn't changed in decades. This reclassification doesn't mean upgrades or added comfort. It simply reflects market demand. Unfortunately, the tax system treats these homeowners as if they're financially benefiting from that label. In practice, this creates a painful disconnect. Seniors may be living in older homes with outdated heating, aging roofs, and rising maintenance costs, yet they're taxed like high-income property owners. Research on housing equity shows that while paper wealth increases, usable income does not, especially for retirees. Once a home crosses a certain value threshold, additional municipal surcharges or reduced eligibility for relief programs can kick in, compounding the tax burden year after year. Eventually, the luxury label becomes more than a word. It becomes a push factor. Seniors start hearing suggestions to downsize, relocate, or unlock equity just to cover basic property taxes. A practical step families can take is to compare assessment values with actual condition and livability and file appeals when classifications don't reflect reality. Seniors should also understand whether crossing a value threshold affects exemptions or deferral terms. In 2026, luxury is no longer about lifestyle. It's a tax category that can quietly make long-term homeownership unsustainable. Do you think it's fair to call long-time family homes luxury properties? Let us know in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it supports the real effort we put into every video you watch. Number 6. New local tax add-ons. Increasingly, seniors are seeing new charges added to their property tax bills that go beyond basic municipal services. In 2026, many cities have introduced special local levies to fund infrastructure repairs, climate adaptation projects, transit expansion, and emergency services. While these initiatives are important, they are often financed through property taxes, meaning seniors pay the same added costs as working households, regardless of income. What makes these add-ons particularly challenging is that they are often permanent. Once a levy is introduced, it rarely disappears, even after the original project is completed. Research on municipal finance shows that these targeted taxes can accumulate over time, quietly pushing total property tax bills much higher than headline increases suggest. For seniors on fixed incomes, even small add-ons can disrupt carefully balanced budgets, especially when combined with rising utility and insurance costs. Over time, these layered charges create a sense of losing control. Seniors may feel they are paying for long-term city investments they may never fully benefit from, while having little say in how those funds are used. A practical step is to read the full tax bill line by line, not just the total amount due. Families should track which charges are temporary and which are ongoing, and raise concerns during municipal budget consultations. In 2026, local tax add-ons are no longer rare extras. They are a growing force reshaping whether seniors can realistically afford to age in place. Have you noticed new charges appearing on your tax bill? Tell us what you're seeing in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us continue producing thoughtful, research-based videos like this one. Number 7. Under-occupancy pressure. Across Canada in 2026, a growing number of municipalities are questioning whether large homes occupied by one or two people are being used efficiently. This has led to new policies and indirect tax pressures aimed at under-occupied homes, and seniors are the ones most affected. While these rules are often framed as housing solutions, they can feel like a direct signal that older homeowners no longer belong in the spaces they've lived in for decades. For seniors, under-occupancy pressure rarely shows up as a single clear rule. Instead, it appears through higher tax rates, lost exemptions, or special charges applied to larger properties. Research on aging and housing stability shows that emotional attachment to a home plays a critical role in well-being, yet policy discussions often reduce homes to square footage alone. Seniors may want to stay close to neighbors, doctors, and family, but tax structures increasingly reward those who downsize, whether they're ready or not. Eventually, this creates a quiet but powerful push. Seniors begin to feel judged for staying, even when their home supports visiting caregivers, family members, or accessibility needs. A practical step is to document how space is actually used, especially for health, mobility, or caregiving reasons, and to ask municipalities how under-occupancy policies are applied. Families can also advocate for age-sensitive housing policies that respect stability over efficiency. In 2026, under-occupancy pressure isn't just about housing supply. It's about who gets to feel secure in their own home. Do you think seniors should be pressured to downsize? Share your view in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep creating videos that give these issues the attention they deserve. Number 8. Income tests falling behind. Many senior property tax relief programs in 2026 rely on income-based eligibility, but the problem is that these income tests are no longer keeping up with real life. Thresholds are often set years in advance and adjusted slowly, if at all. As a result, seniors can lose support simply because their income rises slightly on paper, even while their actual cost of living increases much faster. In reality, retirement income doesn't reflect true financial pressure. CPP, OAS, and small pensions may push a senior just over an income cutoff, disqualifying them from relief, while expenses like medication, mobility aids, home care, and insurance continue to climb. Research on senior affordability consistently shows that non-discretionary costs eat up a growing share of retirement income, yet these are rarely considered in tax policy formulas. Over time, outdated income tests create unfair outcomes. Two seniors with the same income can face very different realities depending on health, caregiving responsibilities, or housing costs. A practical step is to review relief applications carefully and appeal decisions when possible, especially if extraordinary expenses are involved. Families can also support seniors by tracking benefit changes and advocating for income tests that reflect real living costs. In 2026, falling just above a line on paper can mean falling far behind in real life. Have you ever lost benefits because you earned too much on paper? Share your story below. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep putting serious effort into videos that speak for real people. Number 9. Costs shifted to cities. Behind the scenes in 2026, a major driver of rising property taxes is something most seniors never see directly: provincial costs being downloaded to municipalities. When provinces reduce funding for services like transit, housing support, public health, or infrastructure, cities are left to cover the gap. With limited revenue options, municipalities turn to the most reliable source they have: property taxes. For seniors, this shift creates a chain reaction. Services once funded at the provincial level are now paid for locally, even though property taxes do not consider income. Research on municipal finance shows that this structure disproportionately impacts older homeowners, who pay the same rates as working households despite having far less financial flexibility. Seniors end up funding broader government shortfalls simply because they stayed in their homes. Over time, these hidden transfers make property tax increases feel relentless and unexplained. Seniors are told taxes must rise to maintain services, but few realize the increases are often filling funding holes created elsewhere. A practical step is to follow municipal budget breakdowns, especially sections labeled cost-sharing or downloaded responsibilities. Families and seniors can also engage with local representatives to ask clearer questions about where tax dollars are going. In 2026, understanding who shifted the bill and why can be the first step toward protecting long-term housing security. Did you know property taxes are covering costs once paid by provinces? Share your thoughts in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep producing deeply researched videos like this. Number 10. Harsher payment penalties. Finally, one of the most damaging changes seniors face in 2026 is the tightening of payment rules and penalties around property taxes. Many municipalities have shortened grace periods, increased late payment interest, and reduced flexibility for missed deadlines. For seniors living month to month on fixed incomes, even a small delay can trigger a cascade of extra costs that are difficult to recover from. Unlike utilities or other bills, property tax penalties accumulate quickly and are backed by strong enforcement powers. Research on senior financial stress shows that late fees and interest charges often hit hardest during periods of illness, hospitalization, or caregiving emergencies, exactly when seniors are least able to manage paperwork and payments. A single missed deadline can turn into a growing balance, increasing anxiety and financial instability. Over time, harsher penalties can become the final push that makes staying in a home feel impossible. Seniors may avoid asking for help out of pride, allowing small issues to spiral. A practical step is to set up automatic reminders or installment plans where available, and to contact the municipality immediately if a payment problem arises. Families can play a crucial role by checking due dates and offering administrative support. In 2026, penalties don't just punish lateness, they can quietly decide whether a senior keeps their home. Have penalties ever caught you off guard? Share your experience in the comments. Please subscribe. It's just one click, and it truly helps us keep putting real effort into creating videos that protect and inform. As we move deeper into 2026, one thing is becoming painfully clear: property taxes are no longer a background expense for Canadian seniors. They are a deciding factor in whether they can stay in their homes. These changes are not about one sudden rule or a single bill. They are the result of multiple pressures stacking year after year, quietly reshaping what aging in place really means. Faster reassessments, shrinking exemptions, rising penalties, and income tests that no longer reflect reality are all converging at the same time. What makes this situation especially troubling is that most seniors did everything right. They paid off their mortgages, maintained their homes, and planned for retirement based on stable assumptions that no longer hold. Now, many are being asked to shoulder growing municipal costs simply because they stayed put while property values soared around them. Research on senior housing stability shows that financial uncertainty, more than health or mobility, is becoming the leading reason older Canadians are forced to move. The most important takeaway is this: these changes are predictable, but they don't have to be paralyzing. Awareness creates options. Reviewing assessments, tracking tax bills closely, asking hard questions at the municipal level, and planning earlier with family can make a real difference. This is not just a senior issue. It affects adult children, caregivers, and entire communities. When seniors are pushed out, neighborhoods lose history, stability, and connection. Canada is aging, and the system supporting seniors must adapt with care and fairness. Property taxes should never become a silent eviction tool. Conversations like this are the first step toward change, and they only happen when people pay attention. If this opened your eyes, tell us in the comments what part surprised you the most or how these changes affect your family. Please watch our previous video for deeper insights and support our work by subscribing. It's just one click, and it truly helps us keep producing well-researched content like this.